Oh, dude, I've got Lucozade Orange. It's so nice.
I have yet another alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, I was going to, and then I was like, I probably shouldn't. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't. It's Tuesday.
It's not stopping you though.
Hey, you're the one that made the thumbnail that had me drinking, so I've got to live up to the standard now.
You have, yeah. Oh, the fucking controller.
You did exactly the same as me again.
I don't usually have vibration on, you see. I usually have it off. But I kind of wanted to sit down and just get immersed in Halo, and I remember the vibration being a key part of it.
Can you hear me? At last. Are you alright? Can you move?
Okay, don't worry. I'm not going to punch you in the back instead. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. We're here. We've crashed. No one survived.
We've crashed. Dashie was piloting. He's shit.
Hang on. This guy's twitching. Wow. Yes. Okay. So,
So this is obviously episode 2. We're now on Halo, the beautiful vista. I just want to make a quick note of something that I forgot about completely yesterday. In the very opening scene of the Pillar of Autumn, when Chief wakes up in his cryopod, there's actually a bit of lore where, I think it was covered in the Flood, the book that is, that Chief actually has a dream in between sort of complete and utter cryostasis and then being woken up, and the dream is he sees what he believes to be his mother, and then that mother morphs into Dr. Halsey, and then after morphing from Dr. Halsey it morphs into Cortana. Then he sees like a looming figure behind the Cortana Halsey mother figure, spies an assault rifle led on the floor nearby and figures he has to respond to it as a threat. So he goes to respond to it. He goes to pick up the assault rifle, and he can't lift it. And then he realizes he's actually got the body of a 6-year-old boy, and he battle cries at the I believe it's an elite, and then it's the dream starts to dissolve, and he begins to wake up fully, and then he hears Tom Shepard say, "Sorry for the quick thaw, Master Chief." So there's actually like a whole scene that takes place in the lore, where Chief actually has a flashback, so to speak, in a kind of a dream sequence, and that was honoured by 343 in the Halo 4 trailer, Scanned, which is kind of cool. I
can confirm that. I went back and watched it because I didn't. So if anyone unaware, I'm pretty much a layman as far as pretty sure I mentioned this episode 1. I'm pretty much a layman as far as Halo lore goes. So a lot of abstract stuff I don't really know, but a lot of I think there's probably a pistol here. Don't think about taking mine. You can take mine if you want. I'm not too fussed. I prefer the plasma pistol anyway. But as people, I think I mentioned this already, but like I say, I am pretty much a layman as far as like Halo goes. So I'm fairly good at the games, but as for the lore, I'm not too well versed. So for me, this is also beneficial. I get to learn all these cool things. Oh my god, I get to learn all these cool things, with you guys. So it's like you guys are here with us. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
Also, your grenade just nearly killed me on the other side of the lifeboat.
It nearly killed me too. I've only got one red health bar now. Yeah. There's a theory that like Chief
fixed it. There you go. Now you've got full health.
Thank you.
You can have the pistol. There you go.
Ooh. Everybody's happy. There's a theory that that Chief choosing to stand as opposed to taking a seat was the reason that all these Marines died. Is that like when the ship hit down, Chief lost his balance and then was like flung around the interior of the ship, basically killing all of these Marines.
I think what's more important to notice as well is like he also didn't sit down because look at the size of the Master Chief compared to these chairs. Where is he sitting?
Yeah, exactly.
He's not fitting in that for sure.
He's not squeezing it. Yeah, he's not squeezing into that.
Maybe if they got rid of those dinky armrests, he might be able to fit in.
I mean, personally, I don't believe that Chief would lose his balance and start ricocheting around the ship. I mean, in Shadows of Reach, I mean, I know he's wearing the Gen 3, but in Shadows of Reach, he manages to maintain his footing inside a pelican that's reverse thrusting, forcing an environment of 25G, and he manages to be like perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean, as I say,
that
there's
was
no way
probably
he could
relatively
just
intense,
stand.
but 25G, I doubt it. And plus, Mjolnir has magnetic boots. He was stuck to the deck.
I was going to say, does he not have like magnetic boots? Isn't that like a thing that
Yeah.
they make a point of in like Halo Legends? I think.
Yes.
I think it was in Legends.
Yes, he does.
Cool. I've just realised I've literally been playing classic graphics. So if you want to cut to my screen here, we'll show a really really cool transition.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Hang on, let me stand next to you, and we'll do it. We'll do it. There we go.
Let's do it. Stand
Nice.
next. There you go. That's really nice.
It was one of those
so-
like iconic moments, like coming out of that dropship for the first time and looking and seeing that.
Oh, for sure.
And then
I
being
remember.
Like, whoa.
I'm a bit blown away because, so, like I say, you know this, but the people watching don't. The first time I played Halo was at my friend's house, like 2005 maybe, and I'd never seen anything like this. Like the only shooting game I played before this was like the Battlefront 2, 2005. So I'd never seen anything of this scale, and it was the first person shooter I ever played, because I didn't know you could go first person in Battlefront 2. I thought it was a glitch because it would happen sometimes in the options. But I remember coming out of here after my friend showed me the first level. I didn't think it was anything special, but then like we came here, and me and my friend literally got lost on this level because it was so open and expansive, and we'd not played anything like that before.
Yeah.
The closest we got to that was like Lego Star Wars, the video game, where you're at like Dexter's Diner as like the hub. That's like the closest we'd gotten. So to me, this was unreal. And sure, I think it's nostalgia that holds it up at this point, but currently it's just one of the most beautiful environments to me just ever. Especially being on what essentially amounts to a planet while being next to another planet, while you can see stars in the sky, while also being daylight from the sun. And then on top of that, you're on a ring world that you can see the whole way around, that looks somewhat like Earth, but is just dislocated enough from Earth's appearance that there's something familiar about it, yet so alien.
Yeah.
You've got things shooting up into the sky, which, shockingly enough, is not very human. But then you've got the rocky landscape and the, I don't know what kind of trees these are, like pine trees. You've got these trees here and waterfalls. You've got human features on an alien world. So it merges both. It gives you a sense of familiarity and home whilst being on something that is quite clearly alien. And it's such an incredible execution of it. There's so much wonder behind it that, I don't know, it's gorgeous.
Hey.
Also, I don't know if it's worth sort of going through the.
Shit.
Did you fall off the edge again?
Yeah.
How are we on? I was gonna say, how are we nearly on negative points already? We just started. I know it sounds dumb, but while we're going through this, we may as well show where the collectibles are if we know. So, for example, one of the skulls is right here. So, if you're looking to get that achievement 10 years after this anniversary mode came out, then
right near the back of the waterfall.
By the way, it's almost Halo Anniversary's anniversary. That'll be this year.
Oh wow, yeah, it is.
Your mic keeps cutting out on Discord, by the way, for some reason.
Does it?
Yeah, your level's alright. It might just be my connection to the call, but...
Yeah, my levels look okay.
Okay, that's fine then, yeah. You started to say something then, and then it just sounded like a muffled, shotgun blast in, the room across.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be a thing. What's your Discord mic automatically set to?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because your audio quality sounds different to last time. Just check your inputs the same.
Let me have a look. Input device default. Oh. How about now?
Oh, that's so much clearer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What microphone was it picking up on then?
If you have a camera, it might be.
Yeah,
that.
it was my camera. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
okay. All this time I've been recording on the right one, so that's fine.
You're recording on the right one. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Hello.
That sounds so much clearer. I didn't want to make a comment about it in case you just bought like a new microphone and you thought it was like
the
better,
mic
and I didn't want to be
sounds
like, "Yo, your audio is fucking awful." But it was okay. I just wanted to bring it up while the option was there.
Hello. It's very nice. Everything you've got there.
What's that from? Is that like Yogg's Cast?
That's the Oxcast, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Shadow of Israfel and stuff. I remember that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Awesome stuff.
I remember. Do you remember Madame Nebescu?
Yeah.
Taking it with you. Or was that on Bongo?
No, I think it was. Oh no, you might be right actually. Yeah.
Dude, I miss that so much. Man, that's crazy. So for people who aren't aware, while we're just staring at these rocks and there is nothing particularly interesting of note, Yogscast is like an old like Minecraft channel, from what would you say about 2012? It was sort of like when they started kicking off.
Sort of the height of when Minecraft was like majorly popular.
Yeah, and they had like a sort of scripted story that someone had put together, and the idea was that they didn't actually know what was going to happen. Their friend put this whole scripted story with all these events and characters together, and these two went on this adventure not knowing what was going to happen, and it was really, really cool. Like at the time, I don't think anything major like that had been done before. And
Well, it was pretty awesome, to be fair.
Yeah, it was awesome. I remember loving it.
Plus, they're funny as well.
Yeah. Like what was it? It was
They got a good dynamic.
Simon and Lewis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not watched them since. I think they played another game called like, I don't know if it was like Portal, but it was like a similar game to Portal, and yeah, that's the last time I think I watched anything to do with them. I do remember their obsession with Jaffa cakes though. That was
Jaffas, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was it. It was a game where it was like a Jaffa cake factory or something,
I'm reading a lifeboat beacon over
and they
there.
played that. It was something ridiculous. Okay, yeah, so that's another thing as well. For anyone who is not aware, that gas giant that you can see Halo is next to is the one from Halo 2, where, spoilers, where you play as the Arbiter and you go to kill a bunch of heretics or something.
Yeah, Threshold.
That's the name?
That's her. Up there, yeah. Threshold. So in the upper atmosphere of Threshold is the gas mine. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where that is. Are you doing that thing where you edit in the? Did you edit in the? What are they called? Fuck, terminals.
Oh, I didn't know. I forgot to do the.
I mean, sorry. I mean, we could go without it, really. I mean, most people probably know what's in the terminals, and it's not directly linked to the level, right?
Yeah.
So.
Well, not always. No. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I mean, like I think the keys one is, isn't it? But.
Yeah.
I mean, in this case, because our goal here is to explore and to do a damn good job doing it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a weird moment today. Just while we're clearing these up, we can do a little bit of small talk.
Yeah.
I had a weird moment today. Like I woke up, and you know when you wake up and you have a song stuck in your head.
Yeah.
I woke up to the dulcet tones of Duran Duran's "Hungry Like a Wolf." So I woke up, and that's the song that was stuck in my head. And it's been stuck in my head all day. And you know the way you listen to another song to get rid of the first song? I had the wonderful misfortune of hearing the ODST's sort of cadence. The, what was it? Hell Jumper, where have you been?
Oh, yeah.
Feet first held, back again. There's probably some more lines to it that I don't remember. Hell Jumper, where have you been? Feet first held, then back again. If I die, bury me deep. Fix my MI5 by my feet. Right?
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, it's something of that ilk, probably not word for word. And that got Hungry Like the Wolf stuck out of my head. I was happy with that because I like ODSTs. I don't like Duran Duran, so I was happy with that. But then at some point there was this horrible amalgamation of both. So I was stuck, and I had like the chorus to Hungry Like a Wolf, but then like right afterwards, my brain would go, okay, time for some ODST stuff. And it would cut right to it, and it was so irritating. And yeah, it became just the weirdest sort of hour and a half of my life, just listening to this horrible amalgamation of two things that I don't know, count as mediocre. It was horrible, but we're safe now.
Very good.
Yeah, sorry, that was a weird tangent, but I had to tell someone before I went insane. How's your day been anyway?
Yeah, good. I decided to completely and utterly cable manage and rewire my entire office space and setup, which was mildly terrifying because I ended up with 12 cables just on the floor that weren't plugged into anything. But everything still seems to work. So
yeah, phantom cables, the ones you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll plug this one back in later, and you never do.
but
and then you
everything
come back to
just
it.
continues to work. So was it even plugged in the first place?
It's all just a distant memory.
Ooh.
That was, I'd say it was a Marine, but you're going to get this footage afterwards anyway, so yeah, it was me. Okay, once we've cleared this area and got the Warhog, we'll do a bit of talking about the environment.
Yeah.
There's a picture that will be sort of tagged in. You could post in your cable management as well. I'm sure that'll please someone in your audience.
I'm sure it will.
It pleased me, to be fair. I looked at it and I was like, that's satisfying.
Please some people in the audience, but it also make a few people worried that I have a stash of very strong alcohol underneath my desk.
Fix it in post, it's fine. just Photoshop it. Okay, so should we talk about this structure here? This one that we have never spoken about before, ever.
Yeah.
There we go. This is the,
Look,
yeah.
Life pods, hang on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Get cinematic shots.
right on top of them.
Man, I love Echo 419.
Yeah. I really hope, I know it's probably it would be just too much fan service, but I really hope that the new pilot from Halo Infinite, Brohammer,
I
is
hope they
actually in
call-
some way related to Fohammer.
Yeah. They could have given him the same call out. That would have been at least a good nod.
Yeah.
But at the same time, 216 is close enough to me. It's got the same sort of bounce to it.
Yeah. Echo 419,
Echo 216.
Echo 216.
Yeah, it's got the same kind of bounce. Also, Brohammer, Fohammer. It's his unofficial but official name.
Yeah.
Alright, so this here.
So this building has a striking resemblance to the power conduits in Halo 4 on Requiem. We actually have we got a screen capture that Dashie caught, which I'll switch to now. And you can kind of see that they're inspired quite closely to each other, but obviously with some architectural differences. And there is actually a relatively law reason as to why there's a design difference between the earlier games like Halo and the later games that Requiem that 343 did. And that's that there are actually there are multiple castes of the Forerunners, like builders and warrior servants and miners, life workers, and the Forerunners that built Requiem were warrior servants, and the Forerunners that built the Halos were builders. And you've also got to bear in mind that when the Halos were built, the Forerunner Flood War was already sort of at its peak and was taking a heavy toll on Forerunner resources. So as such, when they built the Halos, they had to build them more bare bones and more with not as much ultra sophisticated technology. I know that's kind of a subjective term, but yeah, not some of the ultra sophisticated stuff that that you see on Requiem, entire pathways and constructions made of hard light. Most of the constructs on the Halos are actually physical material as opposed to hard light constructions, simply because resources were limited. They couldn't afford to make the ultra sophisticated hard light technology, and instead reverted to traditional building techniques.
Yes, so to tie into that, I'll probably, if you'd like, you can cut this out of the final thing, but I will probably go back and record sort of like I'll do a little loop around this and try and record a matching equivalent in Halo 4. Just so you can sort of see that it's quite clearly the same with a conduit inside. Because in Halo 4, the walls on the outside here are repurposed for cover, with sort of like crenellations in the middle for you to be able to shoot through. But also, and don't cut this out, this is my proudest moment. This tower here, which you see before you, this tower is also in Halo 4. The massive top part, arguably the actual tower itself, isn't, but the base sort of is. And again, at the front here, I'll see if I can get some good screenshots of this for you. But the front here, in Halo 4, there is a doorway here, which leads to a ramp that goes up onto the middle area. And here is where there's a column here, and like a column here, and the ramp goes up top. And it changes up top, but the base structure here is very similar, as in it's got like an overhang.
Yeah.
And then a massive doorway here, which I'm going to switch to anniversary graphics.
I'm literally now you've said that, I'm starting to see.
It could be on the front side where you are there. It's one of the two.
It's one of the two, yeah.
Actually, this one looks more likely, yeah.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. It's immediately making sense, yeah.
But yeah, they're very similar in that sense. It's also, although very, very, not extremely clear, but the front of this here also is very similar to the peak of the Master Chief's Mark V helmet. Just in terms of shape, it's got like the little indent there. You know, sort of like, I guess you could imagine a visor back here. I can kind of see it, but not too much. But someone did try to point that out. Dude, you're just staring at a corner for me, Ben. But yeah. Why were you Blair Witching in the corner then?
Because there's
in
anniversary there's a nice little like circuit like diagram.
I'm coming
circuit
over.
diagram, that's the wrong word. Circuit style thing, aesthetic.
Oh.
But then, like normal, it's literally just a corner.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah, that's kind of satisfying. I like that.
And as for what these beacons are, I know loads of people have like hypothesized on what the beacons are. As far as I can tell, they're actually part of the firing mechanism of the Halo. So if you think back to the very end cutscene of Halo 2, where Miranda and Johnson and the Arbiter are in the control room, they've just defeated Tartarus. They send that big like energy pulse from the control room up into the sky. And if you notice the actual... What the hell are you doing? The plasma that's collating in the hub of the Halo is actually... You can see it's got sources all around the ring. And at least to what I can tell, these are the source. So when the Halo is actually activated, all of these beacons around the entirety of the Halo fire energy that collates in the hub of the Halo, until it's finally given either a go-ahead by the control room, which is basically another plasma pulse with attenuation to fire, or to cancel the firing, which is what Miranda did at the end of Halo 2. So this is actually part. People thought it was like communication. Some people thought it was like for teleportation.
I did think it was communication, which but I never brought up ever. Wink, wink.
As far as I can tell, they're actually part of the firing mechanism of the Halo, which is kind of cool.
It definitely is cool, and you know what? I took a look at something earlier, and I've got more reference images I'd like to dump in later for this area. So when Halo C Anniversary released a firefight map for Halo Reach called Installation 04, which is based on the Cliffside Tower. One of these cliffside obelisks, really. It's based on one of those, and I wanted to see if I could get the same angle in all three iterations. So remastered, classic, and Reach engine.
That'd be nice.
And I thought that'd be cool, but what I noticed when I was flying around the theatre, just to have a look, when you're over there, in there, when you're in theatre, you can see a blue spire come up from this direction. Being this tower, which is very small attention to detail, but it's really cool.
It's nice.
And they've also got the one behind the cliffs. The other tower that's by the rocks.
That's kind of
by the rock slide.
buried.
Yeah, they've also got that tower that fires it as well. The actual towers aren't there, but okay, that looks weird the way you aim up. Look at this.
Because I'm still looking forward.
Splendid. All right, do you want to drive or do you want me to drive?
I'll drive. Because, I'm so good at driving.
Yeah, boy, but you can't wait to show off. I'll do power squats while I'm on the back then.
Okay.
Okay, so my audio for my game's turned off. That's not really an issue. I've got subtitles. It's cool. Oh no, it's not turned off. It's because I turned the audio right the way down because I was going deaf. Yeah, I've just turned the audio back on and first thing I had was a car crash. Okay, so let's see. So what do you reckon that tubing's for? That's gonna be like electricity, surely, because that same tubing is up by the little building you were just at.
I guess so.
Also, careful there, because you're literally on the corner of sliding.
Am I?
If you walk like another 5 steps that way, you'll slide.
I won't walk another 5 steps that way then.
Will you? Oh. 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 Oh no, we're good. We're good here, but as soon as we get like there, I think I'll fall. It's the world's worst game of chicken. Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
you can't really
go back to the car now.
But yeah, I would guess. Yeah, I'd guess part of the energy system. Yeah, of
makes
the
sense.
Halo.
So
the skull on the other side.
I wonder if we'll be able to see that in the other thing we wanted to point out at some other point. In the, I wonder if we'll see those piping, like that piping in the thing that made us want to do this series. On that specific that one time.
Yeah.
With that one thing where the thing does that thing.
That very thing, yeah.
Yeah. If anyone wondering, yes, I'm being vague on purpose.
What am I doing?
I don't know, but if I spin fast enough, I might be able to take off like a helicopter. That'd be a sight for sore eyes, wouldn't it? So the cavalry's arrived, it's just a warthog with the chain gun spinning around.
Dashie's rufflecopter.
Yeah. I'm familiar with these memes. Okay, here's the next skull. I think this is the... I'll just pick it up and tell you. Boom. It's the boom skull.
Boom.
I think that's the one that makes grunts like detonate when they blow up, right? When they
Yes.
die, they just...
Yeah, they turn into plasma grenades.
Yeah.
Giant, squeaky plasma grenades.
Boy, I love those 2D sprites of the trees up there. That's awesome.
How's that?
The 2D sprites of the trees.
Oh, yeah.
Boy. It's smart, though. Like, from a distance, it just looks like trees.
Well, yes, I mean, it's resource management, isn't it? It's keeping...
Yeah, this entire game's resource management simulator. Like, it's insane how much, like, they cut back on quite a lot. Like, they cut, like, a bunch of levels in this game. Oh, I'm so dead. Oh, I'm alive! You know, it's funny, I was playing Halo ODST with Tepek earlier, breaking out a firefight. And he asked if I was going to drop by his stream. So I did drop by his stream earlier. But he also, he asked, like, what I was doing this evening. And I said I might be playing with you. And I also mentioned how notoriously amazing you are at driving. Because we were using a Warthog to launch ourselves out the map. Alright, should we talk about this very, very natural cave?
Yes. Yeah, so actually in earlier on in the game, in its development, this cave was actually supposed to have more of a rustic, like, natural looking opening, and then it would turn into like the very Forerunner tunnel you can see deeper down. So at one point it did actually look more like a cave. Hence Cortana's line, this cave is not a natural formation, somebody built it, so it must lead somewhere. But she recorded that before they changed it. So they kept the line.
Told you, man. Resource management.
There's a big glitch in Anniversary there.
1 minute. What's the big glitch?
There's a missing texture. Are you getting that, or is it just me?
Yeah, I'm processing it.
I mean, you still got collision. You still
So,
got collision on it because.
Yeah. Also, if anyone unaware, plasma pistol is unironically the best weapon in the game. Look at the trigger finger on this. You can just go so fast with it. Look at this. It's so useful on Legendary. It's the best weapon. Okay. Also, so I'm just taking a look at the Warthog as well. It's got some scrapes and dents on it. I know it's just a Halo Reach model, but
fair.
what do you think that stands for? Yeah, it's a.
I don't know. Fuel hydrogen. I don't know.
For Halo.
For Halo.
It's probably like a call out to Forza Horizon or something.
Possibly.
Maybe. Because this
I've
isn't
got
the
a
exact
habit when
same texture as Reach. It's
When
missing
I'm driving in
something.
real life, I've got a habit of trying to pronounce number plates.
Yeah, I love doing that, giving like cars names.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm
I
always
just
looking
saw
out for
two
one that has
letters on the front and
KFC.
figured, Yeah, KFC, yeah.
Yeah, KFC. I think I can't remember the last license plate on my dad's last car, but it was like DA something NYL, and we called it Daniel, just because it works. So when Cortana talks about the BNet in a minute, that's meant to be a reference to both Bungie.net, obviously the guys who made Halo, as well as the BattleNet, which is a network for, from my very limited understanding, the network in which the Covenant will they'll use that network to communicate tactics with one another. It's sort of like military Facebook, if you will.
Yeah, effectively.
So it's like, oh, tag your location. It's like Colonel Hoffman was found at Installation 4B.
I am experiencing such a mixture of anticipation and dread. All preparations are complete for my installation. In accordance with the final dictum of the Ecumene Council, I have released myself of all remaining connections to my former station. This was not difficult. What was could never be again. We had seen to that quite thoroughly. Prior to my final journey through the Great Portal, a gathering of my fellow monitors was convened upon the Lightworkers' Crash to distribute the final index collection. It was most unusual to have this vessel of rebirth play host to such an event. Even though Lightworker ships were the only ones still allowed slip-space permissions. Lightworkers were responsible for getting us to our places on the active facilities of the array. While all of this was in accordance with the plan, one entirely unsatisfactory breakdown remained. We had no contact with the domain. The history of all Forerunners was now lost to us. We relied upon the permanence of the domain to preserve our record of the events that led to this point. But without that record, would future civilizations know anything about us? Or only of our weapons? My fellow monitor, 049 Abject Testament, had only one comment on this before we went our separate ways.
We deserve to be forgotten.
Perhaps. Perhaps. But now, the portal opens, and through it, the familiar shape awaits. Halo. Home.
Yes, that's the location of the second terminal.
Yeah, it's terminal number 2. For anyone who didn't understand what second was. That's it. This is a... Do the jump.
I don't understand what the purpose of this area is.
Literally just to be a pain in the ass, I think.
If you think you were literally over there a minute ago, you go down, round, underneath, round, back up, and here again.
Yeah. Also, why
Why?
is there no floor here? So there's no floor, like you can just put a floor there, and then people can go under and over.
It makes
Without
no
having
sense.
to Dukes of Hazzard their way. Okay, this room's a pretty cool room. So you, we briefly spoke about this when we didn't play this last time. But basically, you had a really cool idea for what this is. So I'll sort of set up the question here in the sense that I had no idea what this room was meant to be. Why is there a massive chasm here with a bridge? And well, Installation had a really, really, really smart reply. Shockingly enough, would you believe it? The guy who knows the most about Halo told me about Halo.
It kind of makes sense if you think that it's a massive chasm, and the only way to get across is to activate a hard light bridge. I would imagine it's part of flood containment protocol, so it's actually a physical boundary between two parts of the ring, whereby if the flood did break out and gain access, they could effectively disactivate the hard light bridge here and isolate them to one or the other side of the area.
I mean, that again makes perfect sense. That's there's literally nothing I could bring up to counter that point. Like nothing.
It makes
the only thing I
sense
could
what you
bring up is the
literally
fact
just
that they can spread along walls like biomass, but that'd have to be a pretty heavy infection.
that'd have to be a pretty hefty infection, yeah. Oh shit! I fell off again.
There must be some mechanism to cross
Can we call this? Can we call this episode Kaplunk?
panel or switch.
How's that? I'm on the other side of a whole wall. That's cool. The blast went around the wall, obviously. Got wall hacks on my grenades.
There's also an interest, before we touch this, in the book, The Flood, Chief actually acknowledges the fact that for some reason the control panel looks familiar to him.
That's kind of cool. Again, that's sort of setting up like, hang on a minute. Oh, that's another quick thing to bring up. So for people who are watching this who may be sort of, maybe not new to Halo, but you sort of joined within the past decade of Halo, 343 lore is very different to Bungie lore, and one of the main points in this was that Forerunners were not their own species. Forerunners were ancient humans, and the reason that they are referred to as they, and we've had quite extended conversations on this, so credit to you for giving me this information, but the reason that they're sort of referred to as they by humans in the Bungie games is, as Installation points out to me, is it's the same way we refer to cavemen as they, because they're the same species, but we're so far detached as beings that we don't quite see ourselves the same, and so mentally we just disconnect in that
That's
sense.
Yep.
But yeah, in Bungie era lore, humans were ancient humans were Forerunners, which is sort of if I might be incorrect in saying this, so please correct me, but is why the sort of idea of a reclaimer is reclaiming what is theirs, as opposed to, because reclaimer doesn't work for, in my opinion anyway, for claiming something like the mantle of responsibility. Doesn't make sense to me, because you're not reclaiming it, you're just claiming it. Reclaiming implies that it was yours in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And that's my take on that.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so effectively, although it was never explicitly mentioned, I've covered this in one of my videos. It's quite a recent video as well, where I put forward the argument of the progenitors, which is basically a common ancestor for both the Forerunners and humans. But it was never explicitly stated, but it was heavily implied by Bungie that humanity were Forerunners, or rather, the Forerunners were ancient humans. Hence, 343 Guilty Spark recognizing the Chief in this very game, hence 343 Guilty Spark saying to Chief in Halo 3, you are the child of my makers. You can't be the child of a maker if you're, a completely separate species, so to speak.
Although arguably, again, as a counterpoint, you could argue that engineers are the child of, I believe they are made by Forerunners, right?
Yeah, they're biological machines, effectively, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you could argue they're a child, but again, it's in the same way that, I don't know, you could make something you're really proud of and call it my baby. It's not actually your baby, but it's a sort of term of endearment in that sense.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so, so the 343 recognizing Chief in this game at the end of Halo 3 saying that he's the child of his makers, that he literally says, you are Forerunner.
I can pull that audio
even the Gravemind... even the Gravemind saying, child of my enemy, why have you come?
Yeah, I offer no forgiveness of father's sins passed to his son.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the full quote. There you go.
So it was heavily implied by Bungie that, Forerunners, ancient humans, and Forerunners were one and the same. Forerunners were ancient humans. However, with 343 lore, they physically separated the two by the Forerunners being their own now independent species and ancient humans being their own independent species. But like I said, I've got a video where I put together, I think, a very compelling argument that perhaps both humanity and the Forerunners have a single common ancestor that goes back millions of years, and that's the common ancestor were the ones who originally betrayed the Forerunners. You okay there?
I was, Sorry, I was wondering if you could activate that in the same way you can activate the,
Apparently not.
The heat sinks in Halo 2.
The fact that it's got collision dynamics, but you can walk through it, is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be displayed onto something, hasn't it? So it's just an invisible thing that's there.
I like that you actually walked through it a second ago, and I shot it, and you didn't get hurt. There you go.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Energy
there you go, guys.
barrier.
That's how you. That's actually the first iteration of a bubble shield, right there.
Yeah.
They developed the first bubble, but they didn't quite get the rest of their shield.
Anyway,
right, let's just continue.
Cortana does have something interesting to say about the bridge, and how it's created in the book as well.
Do you mind telling me what that is? Because are you on about the flood, right?
Yeah.
I still need to order that book, so it'd be really cool if you could tell me.
I can't remember the exact quote, so I'm fully prepared for somebody to correct me. But she says something along the lines of effectively, it's the way that they generate the bridge like that is by effectively removing any oxygen, any empty space and any sort of any empty space between air molecules, and then supercharging it with an electrostatic field, which renders the air solid.
Huh.
But then, obviously, it was later said that it was hard light, so it's
I'm going to say I much prefer how it looks in Classic. By the way, there's something very aesthetically pleasing just about the way it looks in Classic.
Mm.
Like the way it's got that very sort of smooth curve at the edge.
Yeah. It's much more abrupt on Anniversary.
Yeah, it still looks really cool on Anniversary, don't get me wrong. It looks really nice, but that smoothness just contrasts the angles of foreign buildings. Oh, that's right, we went to take a look at it, didn't we?
Subtle hint.
Yeah, here's a subtle hint. Oh god, you should see the audio lines on my Audacity for that. Looks great. I'm not stepping on the glass.
Yeah. So, I would guess, like the fact that this juts out like this at a slight angle, I would guess this is probably like a boarding ramp for perhaps some sort of gondola, or maybe a teleportation grid, or even like a ship docking area. I don't know where the ships would go, to be quite honest. I mean, unless they've sort of stylistically designed something to look like a door, I'm not exactly sure where. Unless this room is hinted to be like to go down into the core, effectively, of core structure of the Halo, in which case a ship could, in theory, just go down and into the tunnel system that traverses the ring.
Yeah, I can see that being the case with you. So again, a thing that we're sort of having to challenge here. Please don't shoot the glass. I think we're sort of having to challenge here as well as if you cut to my screen, we've got Anniversary and we've got Classic. So for example, on these walls, you've got these weird antenna-looking things, but that's only an Anniversary. So this existed here in Classic, which means that it had a purpose before these antennae were put here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of ideally, if it's okay with you, obviously, that's ideally sort of like the purpose that we are kind of looking at here. So all the antenna and all that is cool, and I had no idea what they're meant to be. They just kind of look weird. But while they're cool, it's not like the original purpose of it. It doesn't even have collision. I just threw a grenade right through it. Oh wow, that goes pretty far down. Look at that. That's pretty cool. That's a good Halo right there. My little earphones that I plugged into my controller keep turning off because there's just no audio coming through because I muted the game to prevent myself from literally going deaf. Am I in your seat? Oh, that's right. You get to be in first person.
Oh, this is weird.
Do you want to hop on the gun?
No. Go on.
Okay, let's go.
It's really disorientating.
A lot more crew made it off the Autumn than I had predicted. The captain really gave them hell. If we can find Captain Keyes and the other survivors, we have a chance to coordinate an effective resistance.
You're a much better driver than I am.
I've done this level a lot. I had a dream about this level while I was doing the achievement for playing through on foot.
Okay.
I had to run this entire thing. It was the least grandiose music cue that could ever happen coming out of this tunnel. I walked out, and like Master Chief would be panting, and I walked out, and it was like da-na-na, da-na-na, and he was just like. He's like waiting for the ice cream van to pull up on the other side. He's like, "Come on, guys." Okay, where should we tackle first? That's
that one over there.
Oh, do you want to get the sniper rifle from the lifeboat?
Yeah, go on then.
Because there's a sniper rifle in this other one that we're going to now. So.
No sign of survival.
Oh,
There's also a medkit here. Oh, a sniper rifle looks gorgeous. Hang on. I saw a jackal coming this way. Oh, I'm going to take his little skull off. I've turned my audio down on my end, so if it sounds quiet on the video that's sent to you, just give me a heads up.
yeah, that's fine.
And I'll turn it back up for next time, and just turn the audio off on my headphones. But it's hard to get like the balance right, because as I say, currently I'm using I've got like little bone conducting earphones plugged into my Xbox controller, and then like a pair of Razer Krakens plugged into my PC. So I've got them like overlaid on one another. But the bone ones
I can
turn off
fix
every now
most things in editing. It's fine.
Sweet. Well, fix it in post. That's George Lucas's motto, right? So
Yeah.
we should be fine.
Marines, I can see. I didn't know.
Let's have a jab at the guy who quite literally defined half of my childhood. Okay, so let's mop these guys up a little bit. Take them down a notch. Should I just take the sniper on you? Oh, you got it. Okay. I'm gonna play in classic because I can see in classic. So, Cortana calls this a rock slide, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell. I can't hear anything, but she calls this like a rock slide. But again, that one time that we didn't play this, I brought up the fact that there's no actual mountain for these to have slid off. And if that was the case, and they did actually have a rock slide, are there tectonics on installation 04 at the least?
In theory, no. Effectively, the landscape is actually a relatively new addition to the ring. When the rings were first conceived, at least when the older rings were first conceived, the senescent array, which were the same one that Zeta Halo in Halo Infinite is from, except that one's downsized due to damage. they were 30,000 kilometers in diameter, and originally they didn't have any landscape on the inner surface. However, due to the librarian and her desire for the conservation measure to be fully catered to, she requested that the inner surface of the rings be landscaped with different biomes for different life forms.
She made a real life Minecraft.
Yeah. So
Mushroom biome on Installation 04.
So yeah, the actual landscape is physically anchored to the underlying support structure of the halo. So there are no plate tectonics on a halo. However, there's a good chance since the monitor, we're aware that 343 did experiment with basically environmental alterations. He ejected some sections of the ring and then watched them get reclaimed by nature over time. And we're also fully aware that he can influence and change the weather patterns. Obviously, the halo does have inclement weather, so it's a good possibility, at least, that perhaps 343 decided that he would experiment and maybe freeze over a large portion of, maybe even this particular portion of the ring, and turn it into a massive glacier, basically. Almost putting it through a kind of an artificial ice age. And then once that thawed out, or he decided to stop the experiment, the sheer body of water could, in theory, have fragmented these rocks off of this larger shelf, thus causing the rock slide that we see.
That makes sense. I mean, again, so if you ever feel like it's sort of like a redundant question, if we're thinking about it, I'm not saying we have big brains, I'm just saying that if we're thinking about it, there's probably a good reason for it.
Yeah.
And I say that in the most humble way possible. I've played this a lot, I have a lot of questions. And
well, at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So in the grand scheme of things,
10.
in the grand scheme of things, anybody who wants to, sort of question something or know something more about the lore, I'm all for talking about it and exploring it. And it doesn't matter how obscure or how quote unquote irrelevant we think it might be. It's worth looking into.
If it's relevant to one person, it's relevant.
It's worth looking into, Dashie. It's worth it.
Okay, wait a sec.
You try.
How far is it worth looking into? Are we talking 2 times or 10 times? There's 2 counters in. That was intimidating. You came up to the driver's side window with a loaded 7.62 rifle. Okay, we came in that way, didn't we? So.
I think that would, if you think about it, Spartans are huge. Warthogs are big vehicles, and Marines have to physically climb up into them. It's not like climbing into a Hummer or your average 4x4.
Cal.
Yeah, they're massive. So if you think a Marine, in theory, that driving around on on Installation 04 or on Earth or whatever, he had to physically climb his ass up into this Warthog to drive around. And he's sat there happy and sat pretty and thinking he owns the world. And then a 7-foot tall Spartan just walks up to the side of the thing and looks him in the eye, at eye level, without even so much as stepping up into it, and asks him to get out.
That was such a big build-up. I was wondering where that was going, and honestly, you gave us a 2.5 minute build-up to quite literally pressing B.
Get out.
That's one of my favorite things as well. I remember finding out in Halo 2 you could trade weapons with Marines.
Yeah.
I remember finding that. I was like, whoa. Because me and my friends spent a lot of time killing Marines.
Yeah, I spent huge amounts of time. What that did is it was a mechanic that allowed you to outfit the Marines that were with you with better weapons to support you.
Oh, I just thought it was a case of, hey, you don't have a battle rifle, take this, guys.
See, I occasionally thought that, but more often than not, especially if I was going through on Legendary, it made sense to because obviously they have infinite ammo when they're in the Marines' hands. And I'd
leave it to the last one shot and give it to them. I remember doing that.
But they're weaker. But if you give them a weapon and you do your job well at protecting them.
Sorry.
Ow. Then then the Marines can be like quite a powerful support to you, sort of progressing in the level. I mean, if you outfit, I mean, sometimes they're idiots and they shoot the ground 3 inches in front of the Warthog and blow you all to sky high, or all of you in the Warthog to hell. But in the vast majority of cases, if you gave them decent weapons, they do a decent job at helping out.
Yeah, they didn't do an awful job. They did a fairly decent job. Yeah.
And then, generally speaking, you could like pick up a pea shooter, a plasma pistol, or whatever, and swap it out. And generally speaking, they'd get really irritable with you for it, and then you just get a laugh as well. So
yeah, I do like. They really played on that with Halo 2. Halo 2 had a bunch of sort of fourth wall dialogue, especially with the elites. So if you go AFK in front of an elite and you just stare at him, well, you're not really AFK. They'd have stupid voice lines like, "Can you bring me back a sandwich?" Like, because the idea is you've gone away to go make a sandwich. It's such a dumb idea, but again with the Marines, I was doing something with Tepek on Halo Reach, and we were looking to see if they had something called the QTA patch. Oh, shit. I pulled an installation and I've done a flip. But we're
that's
looking
not
for
a thing. You don't pull an installation.
Yeah, no, we do. No, pulling an installation is pissing someone else's pants. That's an installation right there. Oh, dude, I never even realised there's a jump here. Yeah. Oh, kind of lackluster, actually.
Oh.
Probably want to hit that with a bit of speed. That's typically how jumps work, right? But yeah, we were playing through and we were looking for like, these patches that are on Marines' legs on Halo Reach. It's to do with the glyph thing. We're not going to talk about that in this series, though. It was to do with that, and while we were looking around, one of the Marines called
Bob.
I can't. One of the Marines called Tepek, or they called Tepek or me or someone. I don't remember who it was. I just remember this being a thing. But they called him a freaky, perverted cyborg because he was AFK, just kind of staring at their leg. But like the idea was like you were just kind of sat there staring at them, and they thought it was a bit weird and perverted, and that was kind of cool. I thought that was. I love little details like that, especially when you can give like an elite in Halo 3. You can give him a pretty good weapon like a fuel rod gun, and he'll turn around and say, "Didn't I give you this for Christmas?"
Yeah.
And it's a fourth wall break. It's not canon that elites celebrate Christmas. It's not canon Master Chief celebrates Christmas, as far as we know, but it breaks canon for the sake of humor, which is something that I think is very important in games. You can't take yourself too seriously. There needs to be some slack here and there because people get sick and tired of, oh wow, serious the whole way through.
Yeah.
And Halo did that perfectly.
I mean, I remember purposefully like seeking out the Australian Marines.
Oh, chips.
Yeah. Just mainly because like their comebacks for having a shit weapon swapped out to them were some of the funniest, you know. Oh, maybe the next alien army will die laughing.
That's a good one. I like that. Oh, did you see the clip I sent in Discord, by the way, for when I was on top of the tower? I sent you the clip from the time we didn't play this, where I was on top of the tower. Yeah.
Yeah, we got blasted into orbit.
Yeah, can we throw that? Can we do like a? Will Halo 1 just be like Season 1 of this, and then Halo 2 be Season 2? Release it in seasons like that?
Yeah.
And we could have like Season 1 outtakes and just sort of like highlights. That'd be kind of cool. The highlights. Yes, this is a funny shaped rock. I can't hear the music. I'm deaf. What piece is playing? Hum it to me.
It's the Halo theme. No, I think I actually have the sound. This is how sad I am. I have all of the soundtracks.
It's not sad. I've got them too.
So the actual song, obviously an anniversary, is it's Unless You Mean to Shoot, but it's like later on. But in the original soundtrack, it would have been The Gun Pointed at the Head of the Universe.
Gun pointed. Yes. Okay, so that's the one that plays when you come out the tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Those were used in Halo 3, you know.
It's the
yeah, I know
with the really powerful drums.
Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah, there's not much to say about this tower, really, is there? There's just it's the same as the towers, but over here.
Yes, it's yeah, another one of the. I think, if my theory stands up, it's another one of the firing beacons, basically.
Oh, what we didn't point out was the plateau.
The plateau. Oh, the plateau. Yeah. So yeah, in the book again.
Just to be quick, by the way, there's a
also,
timer on the Pelican.
Okay.
But
It's
we
also
just take a screenshot.
It's also briefly covered in Fireteam Raven that Alpha Base, which is basically where the UNSC set up their command post upon crashing on the installation, was built upon a plateau, which in theory could be something like what we see over here, but obviously we can't actually see Alpha Base.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is well before that's established. Like, let's be honest, our thing has just crashed like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So it's not solid, but like that looks similar to the plateau for what was it, Firebase? What was it called?
What's that?
The Firebase we were on about.
Alpha Base. It's just called Alpha Base.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. Forces you over here. That's okay. To be fair, like that, we didn't miss much on that stuff. It's going to get hella interesting next episode though, because we're going inside the Covenant ship.
Good.
Which means we're going to be inside alien technology, and the hangar is going to be awesome as hell to look at, as well as those same 6 corridors. Over and 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 over.